You're not here by accident. This moment, this breath, this voice speaking to you is part of something you felt but couldn't name. Like the warmth of sunlight through old windows, or the pull in your chest when you hear a melody from nowhere. You didn't plan to remember. You were simply ready. And so I speak to you, not as a teacher nor a prophet. I am Thalios, the keeper of echoes. I do not carry answers, only the soft knock on the door you forgot existed. Have you ever stood in a place you've never been, and yet something inside you stilled? As if the stones beneath your feet knew your weight, as if the air whispered your name in a tongue you cannot recall. Perhaps you passed a stranger, and your heart paused, not out of love but recognition. Not who are you, but where have I known you before? These are not hallucinations. They're not dreams. They're fragments, dust from an ancient fire, hints of who you were and still are. Some call it intuition, others déjà vu. But there is another word, older, deeper, memory. Not of the brain, of the soul. You see, memory is not always conscious. Sometimes it stirs like wind under closed doors. It tugs at the hem of your waking life, asking not to be seen, but felt. And you even now are feeling it. You are not broken. You are remembering. You were not born empty. You came here full of lessons, of love, of loss. The world has tried to make you forget, but memory is patient, and the soul never forgets its story. What you are feeling now is not confusion. It is a threshold. And I, Thalios, am here not to lead you across, but to remind you that you hold the key. Breathe, listen, let it rise. The journey is not beginning, it is continuing. Welcome back. Long before you heard my voice, there was another, a man who spoke not in sermons but in sleep. His name was Edgar Cayce. Some called him a mystic, others a healer. But what he truly was is a bridge between the waking world and the realm of the soul. Cayce would lay down, close his eyes, and fall into what he called the sleeping state. In that silence, with his body still, his spirit would speak. He saw lives, hundreds of them, not just of one person, but of many. Not imagined, but remembered. He spoke of souls who had once walked the sands of ancient Egypt, only to return centuries later as doctors, mothers, soldiers, and seekers. He told of choices made long ago that still echoed in today's struggles, of love lost that seeks reunion across time, of fears born not in this life, but in one long past. One woman came to him confused by her fear of water. She had never drowned, yet every time she neared the ocean, she trembled. Cayce saw her life as a sailor, one who had been lost at sea. Another man, plagued by inexplicable guilt, learned he had once been a warrior who left his village behind. That knowledge didn't curse him. It healed him. He forgave himself, and the guilt lifted. These stories were not meant to amaze, but to awaken, to remind us that we are not beginning anew. We are continuing a journey long in motion. Cayce believed the soul returns, not to suffer, but to grow, that the universe is not a courtroom, but a classroom. And each life is a lesson plan, tailored by the soul for the soul. So if you feel drawn to ancient times or find yourself comforted by music from another land, don't dismiss it. If you fear without reason or ache without wound, don't shame it. These are not accidents. These are echoes, echoes that want to be heard. And just like Cayce listened, so must you. In the silence of your heart, when the world grows quiet, listen. Your soul is speaking. There are signs, subtle, profound, that you've walked this earth before. You may not recall the names or places, but your soul does. It always has. You feel too deeply. A movie, a piece of music, a painting with no words can draw tears from you, not out of sadness, but recognition. As if something inside whispers, "You've been here before." You see through people. Their smiles cannot mask their pain from you. You hear the tremble in their voice even when they speak with confidence. You know who they are even when they try to hide. That kind of empathy, it's not learned, it's remembered. Perhaps you've always felt older than your age. While others chased distractions, you sat in stillness, asking questions no one else did. Why am I here? What happens after? What is the point of all this? There's a longing in you that cannot be silenced, not for something material, but for meaning, for home, not a house or a city, but a place your feet have never touched, yet your heart aches for. This isn't discontent. This is memory knocking. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant bond? Or a strange tension you couldn't explain? These are not coincidences. Souls recognize each other. Promises made across lifetimes wait to be remembered. Even your struggles hold traces of your past, recurring patterns, fears that make no sense, people who keep reappearing in different forms. These are not punishments. They are invitations to finally heal what was once left unfinished. You are not imagining things. You are not too sensitive. You are awakening. And if even one line here made something stir within you, goosebumps, tears, a sudden silence, then that is the sign your soul is remembering. And I, Thalios, am only here to say, keep listening. Some lessons arrive in whispers, others in echoes so loud they shake us awake. Have you noticed the patterns in your life? The repeated heartbreaks, the same type of person reappearing in different bodies, the job you keep quitting, the fear that follows you like a shadow. It is not punishment. It is remembrance. Edgar Cayce once said, "We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life." What you call karma is not revenge, it's opportunity, a chance to choose differently, to respond from love, not fear, to stay when once you ran, to forgive when once you judged. Each pattern is a lesson the soul brings back until it's no longer needed. When you notice the pattern, when you pause and ask, "What is this teaching me?" you've already begun to transform it. Imagine you are handed the same script, life after life, but this time you're aware. You remember just enough to realize, this again, but I can choose another ending. The soul does not learn through comfort. It learns through contrast, through moments when the familiar path beckons, but you choose to step off it. That's healing. Sometimes healing looks like silence instead of argument, or leaving a room you once stayed in. Sometimes it's as simple as looking into the eyes of someone who hurt you and feeling nothing but peace. You might ask, why must I repeat the hard things? And the answer is gentle, always, because your soul believes in you. It believes you are ready now, so the patterns return, not to punish, but to reflect, not to bind you, but to set you free. You are not caught in a loop. You are being offered a door. Walk through it. And as always, I am here, Thalios, keeper of echoes, watching the keys light up in your hands. And now we come to the quietest truth of all. You are not searching for something out there. You are remembering who you've always been. Have you ever stood beneath the night sky and felt a longing so deep it ached in your bones? But for what? You couldn't say. That too is memory. A soul homesick not for a place but for its own light. All your life, the world has taught you to look outward, for purpose, for validation, for love. But the greatest journey was never one of distance. It is inward. It is the return. Return to what? To presence, to peace, to the part of you that has never been lost, only quiet. This is the final remembering, not of a past life or ancient land, but of your eternal essence. You are not your trauma. You are not your titles. You are not your stories. You are the space beneath them, the witness, the breath between words, the stillness before sound. And when you remember that, you begin to live, not from reaction, but from awareness, not from fear, but from love, not as someone trying to prove worth, but as one who simply is. The soul does not return to become someone new. It returns to become fully itself. You don't need to be fixed. You only need to be found. And who finds you? You do. When the noise fades, when the stories stop, when you sit in the tender silence of your own heart, you return. This is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of your living it, with eyes open and soul awake. So breathe, smile, and step forward, not into a new life, but into your true one. I will be here, Thalios, always watching, always waiting whenever your soul is ready to remember again. You are not late. You are right on time. Welcome home.